Well, well, well. Yet again, I've got another bone to pick with Laphroaig Distillery. And this time I promise that it's not about the most richly flavoured of all Scotch whiskies watering their 10-year-old down to 40%. A whisky that could be one of the greatest whiskies of our time and widely available, even at 43 or preferably 46%, basically made unpurchasable. But I promise this isn't going to be another rant about how they ruin a whisky that probably would be a permanent staple in my whisky cabinet, as well as a lot of your whisky cabinets. It's about something else. It's about something that I've mentioned before, and that's Laphroaig points. And a lot of you have probably had the emails. Anyone that's ordered directly from Laphroaig definitely will. If you are part of the FOL, Friends of Laphroaig, Laphroaig are reworking the way that their points work. So in the past, you buy a bottle of Laphroaig, you get your little green fold-out booklet inside the tube, and it has a unique code in there which you enter into the website. And for each bottle you purchase, no matter what it is, I don't think you get anything more for the special bottles, I don't think, but you get 10 points per bottle, and these points are permanently attached to your account, and you can eventually accrue enough to spend them on things in the Laphroaig shop, ranging from, I think you can get like a Glencairn glass for 50 or 60 points, all the way up to, and this is something that I was working my way up to, for 1200 points, so that's 120 bottles of Laphroaig. So it's a bit of a rip-off really, but you can get a Laphroaig crystal decanter, and I had quite a lot of points on my account, several hundred points, going back over the last 15 years or so, and I was a long way off, but I thought, I've got all the time in the world, one day I will have that decanter. But Laphroaig have decided that that's not going to happen, because they've reworked the way that their points work, and they've said that anyone that's got existing points from the old system, they've got until several days ago, I think it was actually, to use them or lose them. And I think that that's absolutely piss poor, because they are points that I earned. They're points that I was given and received graciously from Laphroaig, and the understanding was that I could use them on whatever I want. And I'm sure if you read into the terms and conditions, there was always a gotcha saying that they reserve the right to take them back at any point. But the fact that they have essentially taken these points back that I had that I wasn't ready to spend, I'm really disappointed in that level of poor customer service from Laphroaig. Especially when, in my opinion, you look at the Laphroaig website and you look at the things that they have which you can redeem your points against, and you look at like the Laphroaig mug, the Laphroaig, even the hats, the Laphroaig Glencairn glasses, a lot of things that you can use your points for, because it's only a limited selection. A lot of them are out of stock at the moment, and call me cynical, but they've been out of stock for a few months since they've been talking about everyone having to redeem their points. It might be a little bit too much of a coincidence if they suddenly all come back into stock after everyone's lost their points. Another thing that really annoyed me is when you actually look into other things, you can buy vouchers that you can use on the Laphroaig website with your points. I think you can get like a 5, a 20, probably a £50, things like that. And they cost a lot of points. I think it's 50 points for a £5 voucher, something like that. But you look at the vouchers and they're actually valid for quite a brief period of time. You can only use one voucher on each purchase. So if you end up with 2 vouchers for 2 different amounts, you can't use them both for the same thing. So you've got to place 2 orders. And using an example of the £20 voucher, you have to use it on an £80 order, and that's pre-tax. So they're basically saying that they want you to spend £100 on their products just to keep what you've already earned. So, in my opinion, they've made it deliberately awkward and expensive to keep the points that we've all earned. And when you consider that there's probably millions of us friends of Laphroaig all over the world, that's probably going to save them quite a considerable bit of money if they take all of these points back from all of us. And all of the people that quickly rush to cash in their vouchers on things that they didn't want, again, they're saving money by taking those points away from those people. So, my friends of Laphroaig out there, that is why I will never be buying another bottle of Laphroaig as long as I live. Except I probably will. Because if we're all honest, Laphroaig make some really good whiskey. And as pissed off as I am about this poor, really poor level of customer service, the 10-year-old can go die in a fire, but pretty much, and the PX releases as well, they can join it, but pretty much everything else, the cask strength, probably about 60% of the cartridge releases, the age statement releases, the really old ones, are an absolute piss take in how expensive they are, but almost everything that Laphroaig release is fantastic whiskey. So no, I'm not going to boycott Laphroaig. So was the title of this video a little bit clickbaity? Yeah, it probably was, but to be honest, I am very annoyed by this, and I definitely will be looking elsewhere for my peated whiskey, because customer service matters, and these customers should treat us better than this. I really feel like they are slighting us, and I'd love to hear you, the viewer's opinion, as to whether you feel the same on this, because it can't just be me that's in this situation. Anyway, that's the rant over. There is something else that I would really like to say on this video, and that goes out to all the true fans of this channel. Because I really dropped the ball a little bit, because Whisky Lock as a channel, as a brand, whatever you want to call it, it's more than past the 1-year anniversary, and I didn't realise. It went completely unnoticed by me, and I didn't do anything about it. That's my fault. But the channel is now well over a year old. I think it's around 1 year and 3 months, and it's been quite the journey. And I just want to say a thank you to everyone who regularly watches my videos, a huge thank you to anyone that comments, and a thank you to all of my subscribers, because we're now sitting at around the 350 subscriber mark, which is quite a lot more than I ever expected to get on this channel. Over the last year and a bit, I've gone from having never recorded a video for YouTube of any kind, and having no experience and nobody to help me on how to do and what to do, basically. And I've gone from that state of complete naivety to having over 100 videos uploaded and a huge backlog of videos that I just haven't had time to process yet, but they will be coming eventually. And you'll probably know when I release a really old video, because there's probably a few from several months ago that have slipped further and further back as more exciting releases have popped up, and you'll know when the old ones come up because I haven't got the beard. So I'll probably scuppered myself a little bit there by the choice of personal grooming, that you'll be able to see exactly the disjointed timeline of my uploads based on the state of the old facial hair. That's not the only thing that's changed though. Again, going back to those very first videos where I had no idea what I was doing. I literally sat down, I think the very early ones I didn't even have any lighting. I had a cheap camera, no script, no ideas. I had no idea what I was doing with editing until I sat down and tried to edit the first video. So really, I'm amazed that any of those videos came out at all. I do like to think that it's improved a tiny bit by now, hopefully at least a little bit. But the real milestone for me is those 350 subscribers, and I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. We've gone from those early videos getting a handful of views each to a lot of my videos now get views in the hundreds. A couple of my videos, and they tend to be heavily peated whiskey reviews, things like Laphroaig and Ardbeg, especially Ardbeg committee releases. Some of them are approaching the 2,000 view territory now. And something that's really surprised me is how almost everyone that's interacted in the comment section and given me feedback on these videos and the discussions that are generated by these videos, almost all of it has been very, very positive. The whiskey, other people have said this before me and better than I can, but the whiskey community on YouTube is an amazing community. There's an amazing amount of knowledge and good spirit shared between everyone. Whiskey is really the glue that binds our community, at least, together. It's great when any of you leave a comment of any sort, whether it's just a thank you or any sort of discussion on whiskey on any of my videos. And it's not just a one-sided thing, because I'm learning from you guys, your comments and your experiences, the same as you're hopefully learning from some of my videos. To me, I hope I'm not going too far in saying that I love the way that this channel has become a place to enjoy our shared enthusiasm and love of whiskey, and to promote that love of whiskey the same way that Roy from Acrovite, he calls himself a whiskey evangelist. And anything that I can do to spread and share that love of whiskey has got to be worth doing. And it wouldn't happen without each and every one of my viewers. So thank you all. Brilliant job, and I hope you'll stay with me for many years to come. There are a couple of more things that I want to talk about before I go. One of them is the fact that I don't quite know what I'm doing with this one, but I have set up a Facebook group for Whisky Lock. I'll put a link on screen as well as a link in the description down below on how you can get to that. And I've never done a Facebook group before. Whisky Lock has been on Facebook and Twitter and a few other social media platforms for quite a while, but it's mainly just a notification system for letting people know when I release a new video. And I've always been a little bit in two minds as to whether that's worth doing, because hopefully YouTube does that job itself. But I've always done that on at least Twitter and Facebook, but hopefully that Facebook group, we can grow it into something a little bit more, get some more discussion, maybe more general discussion about whiskey that doesn't necessarily apply to one video. Now, I really don't want people to stop commenting on the videos, because that's brilliant. It is an amazing little community on each video, and it also helps the channel grow. But for things that are not necessarily linked to one specific video, that Facebook group may be a good thing for that. We'll have to see how that goes in future. And finally, the last thing that I want to talk about, and just making sure that it really is only the true fans left watching by now, which if you've made it this far in this long ranty video, you must obviously be a true fan. I am going to do something with my Laphroaig points to benefit some of you guys, because as I said at the start of this video, really annoyed that I feel like Laphroaig have given me no way of using these points. So what I actually did, before Laphroaig wiped these points off my account, I spent all of my points buying as many Laphroaig vouchers as I could. And sadly, considering that these points were accrued from, I think, just over 30 bottles of whiskey that I'd bought from Laphroaig over the years, it doesn't seem like much, but I've got half a dozen £5 vouchers that can be used on the Laphroaig website. Now, this may all go horribly wrong, and it may be a waste of everyone's time. I really hope it's not, but I'm told that these vouchers are transferable, so anyone who has proven that they are a true fan of this channel by watching up to this point, if you are planning on buying anything from the Laphroaig website before the end of this year, before the end of 2021, which I'm told is when these vouchers will expire, if you want one, go on the About tab of this channel and find my email address, send me an email, and I'll send you the code for the voucher. So obviously one per person, but I want to try and make sure that these points aren't wasted. And if you guys that have helped me get to the point where I am with this channel can benefit from these vouchers, then I'd love for you to have them. So hopefully that's a little thank you that I can give back to you, the viewers at home. And again, thank you for watching this video and all of the videos, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.